Hello and welcome to another instructional video on loveyourpencil.com. This one is about adjectives and adverbs. And this document you're seeing on the screen can be printed for free at loveyourpencil.com. Just search for adjectives. And just read this front page. Like I said in other parts of speech videos, it's really important that you know what these things are, adjectives and nouns, because if you don't know what they are, then you won't know what in the world your teacher is talking about. Alright, so here we have a part of speech and it's called an adjective. And an adjective is a word that describes a noun. Here are some examples of adjectives: big, small, red, successful, difficult, ridiculous. Alright, these are all adjectives. Adjectives are important in your writing, and it can really make the writing a lot more colorful. Some writers say, well, don't use too many adjectives. You should use good verbs that have a lot of impact, and that's true. But it is important occasionally to say, what color house the person was walking into. So here's an example of a story with no adjectives. There you go. It's not a particularly engaging story. Here is the same basic story with a bunch of well-placed adjectives. And again, what we're going to do, as we did in the other parts of speech videos, is every time you see an adjective, you put ADJ in a circle over it. Alright, so tall, black, brown, hot, summer day. Alright, these are all adjectives. And this is a much more interesting story than, I'm going to say it's a much more descriptive story than this shorter sort of story with no adjectives in it. Alright, so really, if the word describes a noun, it's an adjective. That's really all there is to it. So here's an example. What we're going to do now here is this sheet, which is to identify adjectives. Here, Zeus is my favorite dog. What kind of dog? It's an adjective. Favorite is an adjective because it describes dog. It describes something about dog. He has a brown coat. Now, what word does brown modify or describe? For example, it's coat. Coat is the noun, and brown is the adjective that describes coat. And cute floppy ears. Now you see, you can have two adjectives in a row. Sometimes it has a comma in between it. You can say cute floppy ears. You could say cute floppy big ears, and those are three adjectives. So both of these adjectives here describe ears. Alright? And so here are some sentences. Just identify the adjectives by writing ADJ over the adjective and circling it. Just do all those 8. And then again, you're going to create a story about a child and his or her pet. Now, you may be asking, because I've been saying in all these parts of speech videos, write a story, write a story, write a story. It's when you create a story, that's when you really begin to appreciate the importance of adjectives and the complexity of writing, and it really makes you better at it, faster than almost anything else. Is coming up with a story and writing a story is an excellent way to improve your literacy, your reading ability, your writing ability, everything. And I want to also say one thing to you. When I'm always saying create, 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 and sometimes you might get frustrated because you don't know what to write. Well, join the club. Every writer has experienced this sort of writer's block, this frustration, sitting down in front of the paper and not knowing what to write and getting irritated. Don't let that bother you, because every single writer who's ever written anything has experienced that sort of frustration with not being able to put down just exactly what they want. So don't let that intimidate you or irritate you. Just write something. And this particular story, you're going to be creating a story about a child and his or her pet. Describe the pet, the child, and the place where they live. Be descriptive. Don't just say a dog. Say a big, funny, spotted brown mutt. See? So just make up stuff, make up about the kids, make up about the house, make up about the pet, and just write a funny or interesting or sad story right there. And then make sure that you identify the adjectives by circling the letters A, D, J over every adjective you write. Then here's some homework, creating 10 sentences and identifying each adjective by putting an A, D, J in a circle. So you have tall as an adjective, beautiful as an adjective, and shorter and wider, those also are adjectives because they describe shrubs. Just do that for homework. And then there's one other thing, which is the adverb. Okay, now this is easy to remember. An adverb is a word that describes a verb or another adjective. So an adverb describes a verb. There's how you can remember it. So Jack ran home quickly. Quickly describes how he ran. The small bird flew high in the air. High describes how the bird flew. And now, here's the interesting part about an adverb, is an adverb is a word that can describe an adjective. So here, take a look at this sentence right here. It says a dark brown dog. Now, dark describes brown. It doesn't describe dog. So since dark is describing brown, and brown is an adjective describing dog, then the word dark is an adverb. And then you say, and then here's another one. Susan thought her mother was very kind. Okay, now kind is the adjective because kind is describing mother. Mother is the noun, and if you want to describe mother, then kind, meaning nice and sweet, describes mother. But if you want to describe how kind, very kind, then the very is an adverb because it's describing the adjective, and the adjective is describing the noun. See? So that is an adverb. So it's either a word that describes a verb, like when you say quickly, you're not describing Jack, you're describing how he ran. And when you say high, it's an adverb because it's describing how the bird flew. And you can write a little bit more about the difference between adjectives and adverbs. And I just wanted to make sure you know, in most cases in English, adverbs ends in ly. Slowly, quickly, smoothly, beautifully. Not all of them. Like fast can be an adjective or an adverb. But in most cases, adverbs ends in ly. So here's the general rule. If you're describing a verb, use a word that ends in ly if you can. So when you say, when the dog started barking, he ran quick, it really needs to be an adverb, okay? It needs to be quickly. And if you say, he sneaked up on the deer real gradual, well, you'll hear your English teacher say, no, it should be really gradually, because really is an adverb describing gradually. And so since these are both adverbs, and gradually is describing how he sneaked, okay? Gradually is describing how he sneaked, so it's an adverb. They need to end in ly. So it's pretty easy to remember. Most adverbs end in ly. Not all, but most. So that's really it. I mean, that's an adjective. If it describes, if a word that describes a noun, if it describes a noun in any way, it's an adjective. And it's a really, really important part of speech in English and in every language. So I hope this helped. You understand what adjectives are. Just make sure you do all of the assignments and the homework, turn it in, and when you get a good grade, you know that you're an expert on adjectives and adverbs. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in another video.